AWWA would like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, HD Supply Waterworks, an operating division of HD Supply. HD Supply is the nation's largest distributor of infrastructure products that serves both contractors and municipalities in all aspects of the water, wastewater, clean water, landfill, energy, and fire protection industries. HD Supply Waterworks is dedicated to taking care of each other, our communities, and our environment. As a leader in the waterworks industry, the company is proud to sponsor today's event to help foster collaboration among key stakeholders in remedying this common concern of lead service line replacement. They are represented here today by Andy Santee, Director of Marketing and 26-year AWWA member. Thank you, HD Supply.
Welcome to this American Waterworks Association special event, Getting the Lead Out. Vital tips from leading utility managers. Presented at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. And here is your moderator, the CEO of the American Waterworks Association, David LaFrance.
Kathy Bailey will be our next presenter. Kathy is the director of the Greater Cincinnati Waterworks. Kathy joined GCWW in 1992 and today serves as its leader. She will be talking about communicating with customers, stakeholders, and the public ownership of lead service lines. Kathy, thank you for joining us. There you go.
Thank you.
And that'll just advance it.
Forward. Alrighty. Thanks a lot. So just quickly about Greater Cincinnati Waterworks. We have about 241,000 customer accounts. We have over 3,100 miles of mains, and we have 2 treatment plants. One is a surface water plant, and one is a groundwater plant. But in Cincinnati, the service line, the lead service line challenge for us comes in 2 forms. We have a situation that many of you might be familiar with, and that is that there's a publicly owned portion of that service line as well as a privately owned portion. And so with the water revenue, we can only address the public portion of that line, and so we need to figure out solutions that fit both sides. So for us, we know that we have, since in 1971, we had about 26,500 lead service lines in our system. And so we had a water main replacement program. And as a side of that program, we started removing those lead service lines when we noticed them out replacing those water mains. And so since then, we've removed about 38% of those lead service lines in our system. We know that we have 16,572 lead service lines left in our system to address. So that gives us about 60% that's left. Now, when we first looked at this data, I certainly had some concerns and really wanted to look at it quickly and get to the heart of what it might say. I knew, given some of the differences that we see across our nation, where we're often having conversations about race and social and economic differences, I wanted to quickly understand what had happened in those neighborhoods when we went out and replaced those service lines. Was someone going to be able to come back and say that we had possibly worked in some neighborhoods where there were more poor or minority-rich neighborhoods that we hadn't addressed in the same manner that we did other neighborhoods? So we looked at that data, and fortunately for us, we have 52 neighborhoods across the city of Cincinnati, and we have removed lead service lines in all of those neighborhoods, and we continue to do work, and we still have work to do in all 52 neighborhoods. So we know where the public portion is. The private portion, that number is unknown to us. We don't know if some of our customers have removed that lead service line, their portion, on their own. We've asked them when they've done that to certainly notify us, but we know that they all haven't done that. So that exact number is not known. We can take the data that we have, and we often look at it per neighborhood. We use our GIS system to graph that data. So this is an example of one neighborhood. We know exactly where the lead service lines are. We can take our overlays of churches, schools, daycares, and also see what else is impacted in that area. And we continue to do that on a regular basis. And so moving forward for us, our approach to replace our lead service lines is 2-tier. The first tier is all about education and communication for our customers. We need to explain to them that there are risks with this, and we also need them to understand that they play a role in the solution that we can provide. And then tier 2 is all about suggesting that complete removal of the lead service line, so some type of replacement program that will address the public and private portion. At the end of March, we presented a report, a recommendation to our council members, and basically said, here's some options, here's some scenarios that we need you to consider. If you want us to remove the lead service lines in 5, 10, or 15 years, then there's an additional cost that comes with that for our capital program. Those figures that we gave them in the report just spoke to the public portion, but we also know that we need to address the customer side, and that comes in the form of possibly a customer assistance program for us. So we would seek and provide loans for our customers. We would also want to provide grants because we know we have some low-income residents and homeowners that would need assistance. And we also need to figure out some way to incentivize them to make the change. Because in briefly talking to some of our customers, we know that they're now coming back and telling us, hey, you said the water's safe. You said that you have a good corrosion control process in place, that treatment practice is working. So what's compelling enough for us to drop $3,000 to $5,000 to remove the private side of this service line? And so we have that concern now, and we've got to figure out some way to incentivize our customers to do that. So what are we doing? That first tier 2, or that tier 2 approach is all about our replacement program, but where we've spent most of our time is with our tier 1 solution, and that's the education and communication. We have a 25-member team in-house that meets weekly. That's all existing Greater Cincinnati Waterworks staff. So we certainly have our lawyers at the table, our engineers, our public information officer, certainly our chemists, our scientists, our administrative staff, all 7 superintendents of our divisions. We're meeting weekly to figure out where we're going with this and how we can help our customers better understand the situation at hand. So our efforts right now have been 6-pronged for our Tier 1 effort. We started by March 1st launching a new website. That's a website that's dedicated to lead information. So you can go to that website and you can find informational sheets from EPA. You can find additional information sheets from Greater Cincinnati Waterworks. There's a lookup tool so our customers can take their account number and actually key it into the website and pull up information about the public portion of the lead service line. From that, they can certainly speculate on the private portion and then figure out where they want to go from there. We also allow our customers to fill out a form if they're interested in us sampling their water, testing their water, and so we will send them a sample kit, and they can return that sample kit to us. We'll analyze their water for free and provide those results to them. In addition to that, we also wanted to find out how many customers might be interested in an assistance program, so they can fill out a form and provide us with some information. So as that program becomes available, we'll have some kind of idea of how many customers might be interested in that. We also launched our 651 lead number. This is a dedicated phone line for our customers to call in and talk directly with a customer service rep to get more information about lead. And we're using social media more. We know that 70% of all adults have some type of presence on social media daily. And right now we know that adults are using Facebook. That's their choice the most right now. So we make sure that we have a presence on our Facebook page. We send messages, post messages there. We often boost our messages so we can reach more people via Facebook, and we're also using Twitter. We made a decision to also send letters to over 20,000 customers. Now, this was a little tricky and certainly caused us to pause and have a lot of discussion around it. But we decided that we wanted to be very transparent and basically tell those 16,572 customers, which actually turned out to be over 20,000 because there's some tenants in there. But we wanted to let them know, we know that there's a lead service line as the public portion. It's a great potential that you have a private portion that's still lead. So we're informing you of that. We want to direct them to our lead website to get more information. We'll sample the water. You can call us and ask questions. And so we erred on that side of sending the letter. Now, we knew that, the media would get a hold of that. We knew it could have been a good situation or a bad situation. We knew that we would have more phone calls that would go to the mayor's office as well as council members. We knew we'd see more traffic on our website, more people asking for samples. But through all of that, we thought that it was the best thing to do to really educate and inform our customers of that potential, and then we would deal with whatever came after that. In addition to those letters, the first letter, we're going to send a second letter, and that second letter goes to the 10,000 plus customers where we've already done partials to let them know, again, chances are you still have a private portion that's lead, and we want to talk to them as well. We also have a speakers bureau where we're going out to our 52 neighborhoods and hitting those community council meetings and just providing more information to them. They have a lot of questions and perhaps they're not calling us, so we're going to go to them and answer their questions. And then the last initiative that we have under Tier 1 is our pitcher kits. We've been doing partials dating back to 1971, and so we know that we have done quite a bit and we've disturbed those lines. And 3 years ago, we decided to do more than just talk with the customers and provide them with some information. We now provide them with what we call is a pitcher kit. It's a DuPont pitcher, very similar to the Brita pitchers that are out there, plus 3 months worth of additional filters, an information sheet from us, as well as an EPA information sheet. And we inform the customer that, hey, we've done some work, we've disturbed the line, and so with that, we want to give you this pitcher kit for you to use for a time because of the work that we've done. I just wanted to share with you quickly, this is our dashboard, and this is something that we talk about weekly in those lead meetings that we have. But that website that we launched, the fact that we have now offered to our customers that they can send us a sample and we will analyze it, the fact that they can call our direct lead line, the fact that we're sending these kits and how many are actually being returned. People are hitting our website, and then we're also asking people to fill out a form for our customer assistance program. All of that data comes back to this dashboard. So at any point throughout the day, we can get an understanding of, are we seeing trends in more people because a media story hit yesterday? Are they now asking for more samples? Are they hitting our website more? And we can adjust our message as well as the attention we need to give to the situation based on the data that's in this dashboard. And so finally, for us, we've got a couple things that are going on. We're at a point where we certainly are waiting for a decision from our council members, but we're still moving forward with our communication efforts. So where's the next group that we need to address? And for us, it lies in the schools. We've had a lot of calls recently from our public school system as well as the parochial and charter schools. They have a need to understand what should they do. Should they be sampling at key points? Should they notify their parents? What is their next step? And realizing that they're a public school or they're some type of school, they might not understand really what they need to do. We're going to partner more with them to provide information, and so we can move forward together and be there every step of the way for them to figure out their sampling protocol as well as ways to communicate with their parents. In addition to that, we have a partnership that is more in sync and alignment with our Cincinnati Health Department. So as we're sampling and testing the water, then certainly if there's a need for them to do more work inside a premise, they can do that work. And then our next step for us is also about finalizing that report. Our council members asked us to clarify those 3 different scenarios and really hone in on what recommendation we might have. We've been doing that. We will give that report back to them in mid-May. At this point, we are leaning closer to the 15-year approach, which would be about $9 million additional dollars in our capital budget each year just for the lead service line replacement program. And we also would have a customer assistance program with that approach as well. So for us, it really looks at about 10.5 to 11 years, because we would continue with our water main replacement program where we're hitting about 400 per year. And in addition to this separate new lead service line replacement program, we think that time frame would be about 10.5 to 11 years for complete removal in our system. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Kathy. So Kathy, as you're getting settled back down, I want to go back to a point that you made about what you're hearing from your customers, that the corrosion control works, so why do we need to spend this extra money? And I think just a couple observations. I think if we went back a year ago, most of our customers didn't even know there was a thing called corrosion control.
Correct.
And today there's an increased awareness about how that protects customers. But I'm a little bit, I guess I'd like you to talk just a little bit about how, given the heightened awareness that people have today of lead in water, why do you think that they feel so confident that your corrosion control process is working to protect them?
We've had regular communication efforts with our customers throughout the years. So we always tell them what's going on. We take that extra step to communicate on a regular basis. So when we communicate, we do feel that they trust in what we're saying. And so we've gone out several times now and said, your water's safe. We have a corrosion control treatment practice that's in place, and it's working. And so as much as we continue to say that, some of our customers have now come back and said, okay, we get it, and we believe you. And so for you now to say that we want complete removal, they have pause in saying that they're not interested in spending, upwards of $3,000 to $5,000 to remove their portion. But a lot of that comes with the fact that we've been in constant communication with them for years, and we're on the up and up in what we explain and tell them on a regular basis. And so they have some concern about now saying that they don't really feel that they need to replace their portion of the lead service line.
So the lesson learned here is build trust early, communicate often,
Very
and
true.
then when there's a situation like this, and the trust is already there.
Correct.
Thank you very much, Kathy.